I'm from Clover Press, and I have an unboxing to do today. I've got a big old box just kind of down here. Look at this thing. And I'm going to open it up, and we're going to see what's inside. It's full of some of the new releases from Clover Press, stuff that we've been publishing recently. And just before I open this box, I want to show you something I found today at the thrift store. Very cool. And it relates because Clover Press publishes Terry and the Pirates, the classic comic strip by Milton Caniff. Check this out. It's a record. It's a cardboard record, and it says Terry and the Pirates, the $1 Million Ruby, and this is part one is on this side, and part two is on the other side. Very, very cool because I've never seen this before. And it's just it's a neat little artifact. It says it's by the Record Guild of America, and there's not a date on here, but I am assuming that this is maybe during the George Wonder era, rather than the Milton Caniff era. I'm not sure though. I'm not positive. Someone maybe can point that out. I haven't Googled it because I literally just got a little while ago, but it's got a picture on it, but the grooves are still there. So I assume that you can still put this in a record player and play it. I'm gonna have to find myself a record player. Looks like we have a few people on the stream right now. Hey, Facebook user, nice to see you. You want to see what's inside this box? I do. Let's have a look. This is stuff that has come out in the last couple of months. In fact, actually, most of it I think is the stuff that's come out this month, the month of December. We published a lot, and Clover Press is known as a boutique, eclectic book publisher, and we do love comics, and that is a big focus of what we publish. But we also publish a whole lot of other different stuff, and we're going to see some of that different stuff here. Okay, so here's one package. I'm going to take them all out of the box first before we open them up here, so I can get the box out of the way. Okay, let's see. What are we going to do first? We'll open up this one first. I know that a bunch of you are probably Dick Tracy fans, right? Maybe. We love to publish a variety of different classic comic strips. Right now we have Dick Tracy, of course. We're publishing the first 6 volumes in a new, larger size, because the old version that IDW published like 10 years ago are much smaller. So this is volume 4. This is volume 3. We've been publishing 2 at a time. So volume 1 and 2 came out a couple months ago, and now we have volume 3 and volume 4, and we're going to see volume 5 and volume 6 come out not too long from now. I think maybe even in January. Anybody Dick Tracy fans? Got to be careful when I cut this plastic here. Make sure that I'm not cutting the book. I'm just going to open up one of them so you can see on the inside. Dick Tracy, of course, is a comic strip that was published in the 1930s, started in the 30s. It's actually still running in newspapers today. But this is the early stuff. So volume 3 collects the years 1935 and part of 1936. And you can see nice wide format. There's a ribbon bookmark for you. And here they are. So we got Sundays. This is the Sunday stuff. They're all of Sundays are in black and white, the original line art. And then here we have on this side 3 dailies. And then of course there's 6 dailies, Monday to Saturday, and then we get another Sunday. So this here is a great book. So the early years of Dick Tracy, he was a detective fighting a lot of mob bosses and gangs and that kind of thing. But this is where we start to see some of the more grotesque rogues gallery characters. In fact, not really even in this volume, but in volume 4, of course, we see the blank who makes an appearance in the Dick Tracy movie, although not the same character as in the comics at all. We have one comment here just from my friend Phil who says, "Is that record an old recording or a recent production?" It is old. I don't know what the date is, but it's definitely a product of its time. Oh, there's a copyright on it. What does it say here? Copyright. I cannot quite make that out. 1948, I think it says. I think it says 1948, which would have been yeah, that would have been after Milton Caniff left the strip. So, yeah, there you go. Okay, thanks for the comment, Phil. Appreciate it. So anyway, Dick Tracy. What was I saying? Yeah, these are great books. If you haven't read this, it's an exciting adventure strip. Chester Gould has an odd style. It is kind of like it's realistic but exaggerated. In fact, I have my second camera here, so let's take a quick look at this. Let me just put this in the stream and solo that so you can see a little bit better. So he loves to exaggerate, and his early stuff is a lot more realistic. As he goes further down the years, he gets more and more extreme with his caricatures, and there are some negative racial stereotypes in this book, of course, because this is the 1930s, and unfortunately, that was commonplace back then. But we're presenting these as they are, a product of their time for historical purposes, so we can see all of it. And the stories are extremely fun. So some of the let's see here. This is Lips. I believe this is Lips Manless. Yeah, and he's one of the characters who is in with the Dick Tracy movie as well. So anyway, that's kind of a look. Just casually walking down the street with your Tommy gun. That's normal, right? Okay, that is Dick Tracy. Let's see what else I have here. That's actually the only comic related stuff. Oh no, I have another comic related book I'm going to show you in this here. I don't even know where to put this stuff. This one is an old release, but I had Clover send it to me because I didn't have a copy of it yet for myself. But this is a book called Carmen, and it is based on the opera. I'm sure you've heard of the opera Carmen, and if you haven't heard of it, I can guarantee you that if you heard some of the songs, that you would recognize it. My boys love the new video game Five Nights at Freddy's, and they have the song as one of their theme songs. Dun 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 dun. That song? That's from Carmen. But this is a new graphic novel adaptation of it of the opera of the story of the opera, and it's done by P. Craig Russell. And all of you who are classic comic fans of the 70s and 80s probably know P. Craig Russell because he's done a lot of opera adaptations over the years. He did stuff with a whole bunch of different comic publishers, Eclipse in the 80s and NBM in the 90s, and he's still doing it. He's still doing opera adaptations. He's done other stuff too. He's done lots of fantasy work. He's worked for Marvel. He's worked for DC, but he's got this book out now, which is published by Clover Press in collaboration with the Arizona Opera. They helped crowdfund this book, and then we got it out on the shelves. So pretty cool. I am excited to read this. I love P. Craig Russell's style. I love his work, so this should be a fun read as well. Then I've got this book right here. This one is not a comic at all. In fact, it is a prose novel. So I don't have any pictures to show you. It's called Love Like the Falling Petals, and this was a bestseller in Japan. It's the story of a woman who contracts a rare disease that a rare disease that causes her to age rapidly. So she is a young adult at the beginning of the book, and pretty soon she becomes very, very old, very fast. And so, how does that affect the relationship that she's in? How does her partner um, react to that or deal with that and that kind of thing? It's a very moving story, and it got made into a movie, and the movie is on Netflix. So if you wanted to watch that too, but we have brought the English translation to North America for the very first time. It's been published in a bunch of different countries. This is the first time it's going to be here in North America. So, oh, I'm missing some other comments here. Normal for Detroit. I'm assuming you're talking about walking down the street with a machine gun. Normal for Detroit. Um, his art looks cleaner there, less line work. Yeah, you're right. We're gonna go back to this one here. P. Craig Russell does it does look a lot cleaner, doesn't it? Um, a lot of the backgrounds. So some of his stuff, he gets really, really detailed. Uh, and especially, I have some of his work called Night Music, which was a series of short stories, a lot of them operas that he did for Eclipse Comics back in the 80s. And he put a lot of detail. You can see that he's a little bit sparse when it comes to the backgrounds and such here. But I believe that's because he is trying to emulate um, actually the actors on the stage. So, rather than placing them in buildings, in the streets, and that kind of stuff, he's trying to emulate the actors actually doing their thing on stage. So I think that's why we see a little bit of a different style from him there. Okay, there's a spine for this one. Love like the falling petals. Back cover. The cover is by an artist named Hekala, and she's fantastic. You can see this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful watercolor cover. It's actually a wraparound cover. Portrays the seasons, winter, loneliness, and the cherry blossoms. The cherry blossoms play a big role in the story, so they're featured prominently on the cover. Okay, last one is a series of art books. And Phil, the last time I did a live stream, you asked, am I actually involved in the making of any of these books? Well, in this instance, the answer is yes. I worked on these ones. Artists in Taiwan and Artists in Korea is there are two books that were produced by an art collective called Pixiv, which is very popular in Asia, and it has a whole bunch of Asian cartoonists and illustrators who go onto this forum, and they have they have a place where they can post their artwork and a forum where they can talk to their fans and that kind of thing. And so Pixiv decided to produce a couple of books that showcase their artists. So they did artists in Korea and artists in Taiwan. And again, these were published in the respective countries, and this is the first time we're bringing them to North America. So my role actually was translator. I got to take some of there's some interviews at the back of the books, and I had to figure out what they were saying and make it turn it into something readable for North American English speaking audience. And so that's what my involvement was there. But these are mostly art books. Let's take a look inside because they are actually quite fascinating. Some incredible, incredible artists involved in these books here. So let's see here. We'll add this back in. Artists in Korea. So like the book title says, this is all artists that are Korean, and so each page gets a little bit of information about them as well as a QR code that links to their Pixiv profile. Little bio about them. I got to translate all these bios. Translating is not an easy job, let me tell you. But some of the drawings get a little spicy. That is, very typical in the manga art kind of community there, but really, really incredible illustrators. Most of it is digital, but there are a few creators that do some work with paint and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's mostly a digital medium. This person is really, really nice. I like the nice stylized look, lots of detail. But a lot of these people are manga illustrators, or they do a lot of illustration work with different publishers. And you can see the variety of style as well. They don't all look like your typical manga art. This one's looks like role-playing game kind of stuff too. Then we have this artist who is a lot more simple and streamlined. And yeah, so we can just flip through all of these pages. It's a lot of pin-up kind of cheesecake art as well, which is a big market for. Oh yeah, this is beautiful stuff. A lot of photorealism in here as well. It's incredible. So that's the first one. This is artists in Korea. I actually like artists in Taiwan, this book better just because I feel like there's a wider variety of styles in this book that I really, really appreciate. Yeah, this one's really neat. A lot of, you can't really see the detail as well online as you can in the book, but just beautiful, beautiful brushwork in here. A lot of this, the way that this person commands the brush reminds me a little bit of Bill Sienkiewicz. Just look at the detail in this hair. Just like, there's some really, really cool stuff. This one looks like a series of storyboards. Some mecha, of course. We got to have giant flying robots in there somewhere. Character designs. I think this was a character designs for a certain card game. Yeah, this is what I talk about the variety and style. Look at that. Very cool stuff. Very stylized. But anyway, like I said, there's some interviews at the back. Um, yeah, I like this artist a lot. I believe this is watercolor work, digital watercolor. So, but very neat. Let me see here. Interviews at the back with a couple of the artists where they go through their creative process, and there's actually some really cool insights and neat things here that they have to say. So it apparently, the just working in Asia is so different. The market is so different um, than North America. So there you go. That's that's that. Some questions here. How many languages do you speak? Phil, I only speak one language, but I was able to use different translation software to get me started. And then after that, it's just a matter of determining what they're trying to say and how to reinterpret that into English. Yes, it would be much easier if I did speak the languages, absolutely, but that was the job that I was given, and so it's how I tackled it. Um, these covers are cool. You can see the spot gloss on the character, and then there's a foil. The words here are foil stamped, so they're very beautiful package. You can't even tell in the light there. It's well put together. Very nice hardcover, glossy paper to show off the detail and the designs. So anyway, that's what I have to show you today. A couple of books, all published by Clover Press, a variety of content, um, not just comics, but prose books and art books. And then coming in the new year, we will be finally getting our very first Marvel art books. We are publishing a series of art books in collaboration with Marvel. The first of a few are David Mack and Alex Malev. And you probably know their work from Daredevil in the late 90s, early 2000s. Brilliant artists. The art books are absolutely beautiful, and they're going to be big too. They're bigger than, I believe they're bigger than this. So about 200 pages and so of just stellar art. And then our third book in the series is a more contemporary artist named David Nakayama, who does a lot of really amazing cover work for Marvel currently. And then we have some great surprises down the road, some incredible artists that I'm so excited to be working with, big names. And yeah, we're gonna have to see that. So when I get those books, I'll do a live stream to show those off as well, because you're gonna want to see it. Really great. Anyway, Jay Z said Jay Z yeah, Jay Z Meister says cannot wait to get a copy of but you didn't finish. Copy of the Marvel stuff? Maybe you were one of the backers. Could be. Can't wait to get a copy of this by Pete Craig Russell. I recommend it. I'm going to read it as soon as I get off this live stream with all of you. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been a lot of fun, and I hope that everybody has a great holiday with whatever holiday you observe during this time, or even if you don't observe any holidays. Oh, they say, I cannot wait to get a copy of Love Like the Falling Petals. Yeah, great. I'm glad that you are excited about that book. It is, it's well worth it. It's a great story. Especially if you like romance novels. Really good story. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see ya